Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is the Pokemon like that one friend who always pops up uninvited at the most random moments shouting. This tall, cyan blob looks like what would happen if someone tried to make a punching bag cute, but forgot to tell it that eyes typically go on the front, not the tail. It's basically a walking stress ball with commitment issues, which honestly makes it the perfect partner for Jessie's dramatic flair. Wobbuffet is built like a bottom-heavy water balloon with a face that's permanently stuck in that expression you make when someone catches you singing in the shower. The female ones even have some natural lipstick, because who says you can't look fabulous while being a professional counterpuncher? The arms of Wobbuffet are like pool noodles that got tired halfway through development. This big blue marshmallow has the most extra tail in the Pokemon world. We're talking about a tail with its own set of eyes that can actually blink and look around like some sort of bizarre security system. It's so protective of this tail that it goes from peace and love to catch these hands faster than Jessie can say, prepare for trouble. Speaking of Jessie, she got this dramatic doorstop in what might be the most awkward trade since that kid who swapped her Charizard for a Magikarp. It's like the universe knew exactly what it was doing. Both Jessie and Wobbuffet are masters of the dramatic entrance, with Jessie and her fabulous hair flips and Wobbuffet popping out of its Pokeball uninvited like that friend who doesn't understand what private conversation means. This Pokemon is the king, or queen, of the no-you strategy. It just stands there, taking hits like a champ, and then all of a sudden bounces them back with all the sass of Jessie flipping her hair. It's the perfect partner for someone as dramatically resilient as Jessie, as both of them just refuse to stay down, even when they probably should. When Wobbuffets meet in the wild, they have these ridiculous standoffs where they just stare at each other. It's a contest of who can go hungry the longest. Talk about stubbornness, like watching two drama queens standing there menacingly, doing absolutely nothing until one of them remembers they forgot to pack a lunch. Wobbuffets live in dark caves because they hate light. This psychic type spends its days being simultaneously the most passive and passive-aggressive Pokemon ever. Even when it sleeps, it's trying to hide its tail, though it occasionally slips up and shows its hand when it's in deep snooze mode. It's like trying to keep secrets while sleep-talking. Seviper. Seviper is the perfect example of a Pokemon born when you give a snake attitude problems and a built-in sword. This slithering drama queen looks like its accordion folded itself just to fit into smaller spaces, which is probably how it manages to squeeze into Jessie's already crowded team. Seviper is a black snake, with yellow hexagon tattoos and purple battle scars. It's basically walking around, well, slithering around, looking like it just came out of the most hardcore snake mosh pit ever. It has red fangs, which honestly are not just for show, but they match Jessie's aesthetic. It's like they both went to the same how to look fabulous while being intimidating school. Seviper literally spends its free time sharpening its tail on rocks like some sort of reptilian samurai. It has a generations-long beef with Zangoose that is more dramatic than a soap opera marathon. It's like the Pokemon version of the Montagues and Capulets, except instead of star-crossed lovers, we've got claws and poison tails. Jessie met Seviper when she saw it beat up Ash's Trico and basically went, "That's it, that's the one. I need that level of sass in my life." It's like when you see someone absolutely slay at karaoke and immediately decide that they're your new best friend. Together, Jessie and Seviper are like the dynamic duo of diva energy, with Jessie bringing the strategy and Seviper bringing the attitude, and both of them bringing enough drama to fill a season of reality TV. Seviper doesn't just bite you. Oh no. It wraps around you like the world's most aggressive hug and then hits you with that poison tail. It's basically combining a boa constrictor with a scorpion and adding a dash of extra spicy for good measure. Yanmega. Yanmega is a dragonfly and bug type Pokemon. It is basically what happens when you give a dragonfly a protein shake and anger management issues. Yanmega is like a dark green flying menace that's built like a military-grade insect and is complete with red spotted racing stripes because apparently being able to carry a whole adult human wasn't a flex enough. It has eyes that have built-in T-shaped targeting systems that make it look like it's permanently giving you a side eye, which honestly matches Jessie's skeptical nature perfectly. Yanmega also has white fangs that can chomp heads off its prey while zooming around like some sort of bug-type food processor with wings. Jessie caught Yanmega as a Yanma after someone else weakened her for her. Although she and her teammates sent her to Team Rocket HQ, Jessie got her back but quickly evolved into Yanmega. Jessie was so proud, like watching a stage mom whose kid just won the talent show. Except the talent was creating devastating shockwaves. Yanmega is incredibly violent and needs someone with incredible bravery to tame it. Or, in Jessie's case, someone with enough dramatic flair to match its energy. It's like they're both competing for most extra in the Pokemon world, as Jessie flexes with her theatrical performances and Yanmega with its "I can knock down trees by flapping my wings" flexing. Even the way it tries to land is dramatic, and it doesn't just land like a normal bug. It has to flip upside down like it's doing aerial yoga, which makes it the perfect partner for Jessie's "I'm not like other Team Rocket members." Yanmega single-handedly won Jessie her second ribbon, probably by combining grace with the ability to create sonic boom, because why be subtle when you can be spectacular? Even when they were separated by Team Rocket HQ duties, their reunion was more dramatic than a soap opera season finale. Woobat. Woobat Pokemon looks like what happens when you cross a cotton ball with a pig nose and decide it needs wings. This fuzzy little sphere is basically a flying stress ball with a heart-shaped snot cannon, which somehow makes it both adorable and slightly concerning at the same time. It is like a blue puffball that's so fluffy it can't even see where it's going, as it has eye-hiding fur tufts that give major just rolled out of bed energy. Woobat has a nose that looks like someone stamped a Valentine's Day card right in the middle of its face. It has a single fang that is like it started teething and just gave up after the first tooth. This Pokemon can literally hold on to cave walls with its nose while it sleeps. That's like choosing to do a handstand while taking a nap. It also leaves little heart shapes everywhere it snoozes, turning cave walls into some sort of prehistoric dating app. Jessie caught this fuzzy fortune dispenser with all the emotional depth of someone grabbing a backup umbrella, just in case, you know. But like most of Jessie's just because decisions, it turned into a "who knew this would work out" situation. It's like when you adopt a cat for the Instagram pics, but end up with an actual emotional support animal. This duo became quite the pair in Unova, probably because the Woobat's whole aesthetic matches Jessie's flair for the dramatic. I mean, it marks its territory with hearts. If that's not Team Rocket levels of extra, what is? And let's be honest, having a Pokemon that navigates by basically sneezing ultrasonic waves is exactly the kind of chaos that matches Jessie's energy. Even when Team Rocket HQ decided to play musical Pokemon and temporarily took Woobat away, they couldn't keep these two drama queens apart. It's like they both shared the same life motto: why be normal when you can be notably bizarre? Frillish. Frillish is a ghost or water type that looks like what happens when a royal jellyfish gets ghosted at prom. This aquatic aristocrat comes in his and her versions like some sort of underwater gender reveal party gone fancy. It is like the Pokemon example of those couples who coordinate their outfits, except one's permanently grumpy and blue and the other's eternally smiling and pink. Frillish is a jellyfish that woke up one day and decided that they needed a crown and a fancy collar. The male's rocking that blue "I'm too cool to smile" vibe with a triangle crown that screams "I watched one episode of Game of Thrones and made it my whole personality." Meanwhile, the female is out there in pink with a round crown, serving Princess of the Deep realness with a smile that says, "I'm adorable, and I can drag you to my underwater lair." Frillish lives 5 miles under the sea, which is the Pokemon version of having a penthouse suite in the Mariana Trench. It's got thousands of poison stingers hidden in its arms like some sort of deadly fashion accessory, which is very on brand for Jessie's taste in Pokemon. While hunting, Frillish just casually floats around like some sort of deadly decorative curtain, waiting to paralyze its prey and drag it down to its deep-sea den. It's giving very much "come to my tea party" forever energy. There's even legend that says that they are transformed residents of a sunken ancient city. Jessie doesn't have much of a relationship with Frillish. Jessie had just caught it after returning to Unova, along with James's Amoonguss, but does use her in battles whenever she needs her. However, Jessie was forced to leave Frillish with her boss to assure him that she and her teammates had accomplished something in Unova. Fortunately, Jessie got Frillish back as her boss gave her back to her. Both Jessie and Frillish shared that flair for the dramatic. One's got signature hair that defies gravity, and the other's got a whole royal jellyfish thing going on. It's like they both graduated from the same school of "why be basic when you can be extra." Gourgeist. Gourgeist is a ghostly pumpkin Pokemon that's essentially a Halloween decoration that decided to get up and choose chaos. It can retract into its pumpkin body for that classic jack-o'-lantern surprise factor. Gourgeist has a dark brown pumpkin body with a carved face that glows, topped with arm-like pink hair tendrils. It has yellow eyes and a permanent grin that make it look like it's always in on some mischievous secret. The relationship between Jessie and Gourgeist is one of her most touching stories. Their bond began when Gourgeist was still a Pumpkaboo, and Jessie made the selfless decision to trade her away for what she thought would be Gourgeist's happiness with another Pumpkaboo. But the Pumpkaboo lost interest in her when she evolved. Jessie realized her mistake and got her back, which shows how much she cares for her. After she evolved, Jessie used Gourgeist in her freestyle performances and showcases. However, Jessie left Gourgeist at Team Rocket HQ. Despite being apart, Jessie will always have a special spot for Gourgeist, as seen when she saw that Diantha has one of her own. Also, Jessie got to reunite with Gourgeist when her boss gave her back to her. Gourgeist has some rather unsettling habits. During new moons, it roams streets, singing cursed songs like some sort of paranormal street performer. Even more disturbing is its tendency to sing joyfully while watching its tangled up prey. Meowth. Meowth is a cream-colored cat with brown-tipped paws and tail. It has a shiny gold coin stuck right in the middle of its forehead. With 4 whiskers on its face, 2 more by its black ears, and wide eyes with slit pupils, Meowth looks like your typical cat, except for those 2 pointy teeth in its upper jaw that make it look like it's always plotting something. Although Meowth walks on 2 legs, it's actually supposed to walk on all 4s. They can retract their claws too, perfect for sneaking around at night looking for shiny things to collect. When a Meowth spots something shiny, both its eyes and forehead coin light up like a Christmas tree. They even get into fights with Murkrow over sparkly treasures. Meowth has a special move called Payday that makes money appear. They're the only Pokemon family that can learn this move by leveling up. Meowth has different forms depending on where you find them. Alolan Meowth is a blue-gray cat who got too used to royal life and turned into a real drama queen. Instead of brown markings, the tip of its tail, whiskers, digits, and the insides of its ears are a whitish gray. Alolan Meowth's whiskers have a slight curve compared to regular Meowth's straighter whiskers, and it has silvery eyes. They're super proud and will throw a fit if you insult their coin or their pride. Alolan Meowth will turn hysterical if its coin or pride are besmirched. Due to the actions of humans in Alola, Alolan Meowth's population increased in numbers. When the monarchy fell, the rare Alolan Meowth went feral, and eventually grew as common in Alola as anywhere else. Galarian Meowth has a shaggy, grayish-brown coat resembling a beard, as well as yellow eyes and a toothy grin. Its coin is now black and extremely hard, with the darkest and hardest coins being especially valued and respected among the species. They don't get along with regular Meowth at all. Gigantamax Meowth is an example of what happens when a regular Meowth gets supersized and becomes long enough to reach skyscrapers and gets even more obsessed with shiny things. That it will cause damage to skyscraper windows and exterior walls for the sake of sharpening its claws. The body extends from the lower half to the shoulder, while the gold coin gains a symbol. Meowth's eyes change to a glowing gold color. The tail grows long as well, with the end of its tip extending. The tail gets even larger and bumpy when it uses an attack. 3 red clouds surround it below the shoulders. The giant coin on Gigantamax Meowth's head emits a lot of Gigantamax power that surrounds the area with a golden gleam. The symbol on Gigantamax Meowth's gold coin is believed to be the key to unlocking the secrets of Dynamax. Gigantamax Meowth is the only known Pokemon capable of using the G-Max move, G-Max Gold Rush. Carnivine. Carnivine is a Venus flytrap with a PhD in drama and a bottomless stomach. It's the grass-type Pokemon that Team Rocket's James calls his green soulmate. You know it, I know it, and your aunt, who only watches cooking shows, probably knows it too. Carnivine doesn't evolve because it's already perfected the art of being a hungry plant. It's like a green, leafy blob with a yellow stem dotted with green spots, like a banana that got lost in a jungle and grew tentacles. Its circular eyes are tiny, with pinprick pupils like it were judging your every move, and those spiky teeth? They're ready to chew through anything, including James's dignity. Its red and green vines dangle below like a botanical octopus, and its 2 leafy arms sport 3 fingers each, which are perfect for snagging bugs or giving a sassy wave. Carnivine's got an unruly temper and a gluttony problem that'd make a Buffet tremble. It loves hanging from tree branches in forests and marshes, vines swinging like it's auditioning for Tarzan, mouth stretched open 180 degrees wide. Why? Because it's got sweet-smelling spit that lures in bugs like a candy-scented trap. It chomps down like a lawnmower with a grudge. This diva takes a whole day to eat its prey. It munches on insects and small bugs, leaving behind a trail of terrified picnic ants. And when it's not eating, it's showing off its vine-swinging skills like a toddler who just found a jungle gym. Science might call it arboreal acrobatics, but let's be real, it's just flexing. James caught Carnivine as a kid, probably because he saw it chowing down on a beetle and thought, that's my vibe. They reunited years later when James found its Pokeball at one of his parents' vacation homes, because nothing says childhood nostalgia like a plant that tries to eat you. Carnivine adores James, but its love language is a full-on head chomp, like a toothy hug that leaves bruises. It's the Pokemon example of that clingy friend who doesn't know personal space, but these two are a match made in chaos. Take the Lillipad Town Pokemon contest, where James, dressed as Jesselina, and Carnivine strutted their stuff to snag the win. Mime Jr. Mime Jr. is like that little cousin who tries to copy your every move but ends up looking adorably ridiculous. Mime Jr. is a pin-sized psychic clown who's basically a cotton candy puff with a knack for flubbing impressions. This psychic fairy type is a small pink Pokemon sporting a crooked blue hat, a red clown nose, and a stubby dark blue legs that seem destined to trip over an invisible tightrope. Its big talent is mimicking others, though it's as skilled as a toddler in a funhouse mirror. It's like a psychic mood ring, reflecting your emotions. It loves mimicking foes to throw them off, like a tiny prankster shouting, "Look over there," before bolting. Picture it flailing its arms to copy your battle stance, only to trip over its own psychic vibes and scamper away giggling. In Galar, it's obsessed with Mr. Rhyme, the tap dancing sensation, and practices awkward shuffles and jazz hands like a starstruck groupie dreaming of the spotlight. You'll spot it in bustling marketplaces, probably judging your bargaining skills while pantomiming a cash register with flair. At bedtime, it flops onto an invisible bed, fully committed to its mime act, even in its dreams. James caught Mime Jr. by accident in Sweet Baby James after it purposefully initiated the capture mechanism on one of his empty Pokeballs that had fallen on the floor. Mime Jr. previously resided with the old couple who took care of an old vacation home of James's family. James went there when his Chimicho fell ill. Mime Jr. took an instant liking to James, keeping him company at night while he sat over Chimicho. James was thankful for this, and he told Mime Jr. that it was kind-hearted. When it was time for James to leave, Chimicho was still ill, so he decided to leave it in the care of the old couple. When he reached in his pocket to get Chimicho's Pokeball, the empty ones fell out, and Mime Jr. rushed in. James asked why Mime Jr. would want to go with him, and the couple told him that Mime Jr. likes him and thinks he is a kind person. They also said, "Looks like you found yourself a good buddy in Mime Jr." Yamask. Yamask, the Pokemon that's a ghost who decided to carry around its old human face like a sad selfie stick, was the ultimate vibe check. It is like a shadowy blob that is part drama queen, part haunted thrift store find, as this little guy's got two tendril-like arms flailing around, big red eyes that glow when it's mad, and a tiny tail clutching a golden mask tighter than a kid with a last candy bar. Yamask is the ghost-type Pokemon example of that friend who won't stop reminiscing about the good old days. This isn't just any spirit. It has got baggage heavier than a suitcase at an airport lost and found. Yamask remembers being human, and he is not shy about crying over it. It stares at its mask, tears streaming down its shadowy face, muttering, "I used to have eyebrows, man." Mess with that mask, lose it, take it, or heaven forbid, try it on and Yamask goes full poltergeist, possessing you faster than you can say, "Whoops." Legend has it, if you wear the mask, you're basically inviting Yamask to move in and narrate its life story in your head, probably while critiquing your taste in snacks. Oh, and it's got this neat trick called Mummy, an ability so clingy it swaps your opponent's ability to match its own when they touch it. Then there's the Galarian form. This ground ghost-type Yamask ditches the mask for an ancient clay tablet stuck to its tail, rocking purple eyes and engravings. The story goes that a ticked-off ghost got sucked into this tablet, and now it slurps up Yamask's dark power like a cursed smoothie. To evolve into Runerigus, a name that sounds like a wizard flubbed a spell, Galarian Yamask has to take a 49 HP beating without passing out. then strut under Dusty Bull's big rock arc like it's walking the runway of pain. Plus, it's got Wandering Spirit, an ability that lets it swap vibes with anyone dumb enough to get close. A regular Yamask hits level 34 and turns into Koffing, a coffin-shaped creep that's Yamask saying, "I'm overcrying, time to start trapping souls like a pro." Yamask is very friendly and is shown to have a great relationship with James. He is a very thankful Pokemon, as shown when he lets James catch him after he is given some food. Unlike several of James's other Pokemon, such as Victory Bell, Cacnea, and Carnivine, Yamask doesn't show any kind of special affection to James when coming out of his Pokeball. James can use its mask to deflect attacks and can even throw it onto an opponent as a means to distract or blind them. He can also, like Jessie's Seviper, use haze to shroud Team Rocket in a dark cloud of smoke to allow for a quick escape. Amoonguss. Amoonguss is the mushroom Pokemon that is a walking identity crisis. It is like a mushroom that decided its best life strategy was to dress up as a Pokeball. It has a huge, gray stem-like body, fierce-looking eyes, a tiny mouth with large pink lips, and 2 arms. It has large caps on its head and arms that resemble Pokeballs. The cap on its head has a few warts. This funky fungus looks like what would happen if a mushroom went to a costume party and only had 5 minutes to prepare. It uses the Pokeball-like patterns on its arms to lure prey, which is probably the least successful hunting strategy ever, like trying to catch a fish by holding up a sign that says, "Free Wi-Fi." It just stands there, barely moving, next to actual Pokeballs, looking all serious with its fierce eyes and pouty pink lips. Because nothing says dangerous predator like having lips that look like they just tried on their mom's lipstick. Unlike James's other Pokemon who treated his head like an all-you-can-eat buffet, Amoonguss is that one serious friend in the group who's too mature for shenanigans. It's like having a STEM accountant in a circus, as it'll do the job, but don't expect any silly business. It never tried to chomp on James's head, probably because it was too busy maintaining its professional mushroom reputation, making it the only grass-type Pokemon in James's collection that didn't turn his skull into a snack bar. Amoonguss is like that quiet coworker who surprises everyone at the office party with unexpected dance moves. It once knocked out Pikachu with a single body slam, which is basically like taking out the company CEO with a PowerPoint presentation. And while it might not be the most openly affectionate Pokemon, it probably thinks smiling would ruin its street cred, it did show some mushroom emotions when reuniting with James in Rocket Revengers. Inkay. Inkay is the upside-down specialist who proves that sometimes the best way to get ahead in life is to turn your world upside down. It has a transparent mantle with a rounded, pink body inside that has several yellow, circular spots that can glow brightly. There are 4 of these luminescent spots on the front and 2 on the back. Attached to its mantle are 2 transparent tentacles. Its remaining tentacles are part of its main body, 8 in total. It has round black eyes and a pink beak-like mouth. It's the only Pokemon that gets stronger by channeling its inner yoga instructor. Inkay can cause its luminescent spots to blink and flash. This behavior serves a variety of uses. If Inkay is threatened, the blinking lights will cause its opponents to become dazed and lose their will to battle, allowing it to escape. The blinking also serves to attract Inkay's prey, which is then ensnared and held in place by its tentacles. Inkay also uses various complex rhythms and patterns of light to communicate to others of its kind. Because of this, Inkay instinctively reacts to anything in its habitat that emits light or echoing sounds. By floating upside down, Inkay improves its blood flow along with clearing its head. Inkay joined Team Rocket because of its stomach. It's like that friend who only shows up to hangouts when there's free food involved. It was literally caught because James used food as bait, making it probably the only Pokemon in history to join the bad guys because of snacks. Even after joining, it would break out of its Pokeball just to raid Team Rocket's picnic basket. It's the Yogi Bear of the Pokemon world. Morpeko. Morpeko is the Pokemon world's most dramatic fashion influencer, as it can change its entire look based on its hunger level. In full belly mode, it's rocking this adorable creamy yellow bodysuit with a black and brown fur combo that makes it look like it just stepped out of a hamster fashion magazine. It's got this precious little bucktooth smile that says, "I just had the best meal of my life," complete with circular black eyes that could melt even Team Rocket's cold hearts. But when those hunger pangs hit, this little fashionista goes through a transformation that would make any makeover show jealous. We're talking total color swap to purple, eyes turning into angry red semicircles like it's permanently judging your life choices, and its fur going full gothic with matching black patches. It's basically what happens when you combine a hangry hamster with an emo phase. It has got these adorable little pockets in its fur where it stores its emergency snacks, which are electrically roasted berry seeds that it treats like they're precious diamonds. It has cheek pouches that are like tiny power plants that burn through energy faster than a teenager goes through a phone battery. This little food vacuum turned James into a walking vending machine. It's like a pet that is constantly one missed snack away from turning into a tiny purple rage monster. It's like having a roommate who becomes the Incredible Hulk if they miss their afternoon tea time. It once ate all the food in Cassidy's restaurant, and thus getting James kicked out in the process. Despite being a continuous drain on Team Rocket's food budget and occasionally sending them blasting off when hangry, Morpeko grew attached to them. It even shared a berry seed with James once, which for Morpeko is basically like offering someone your last piece of chocolate. In training, Cacnea. This little green troublemaker is basically what you'd get if you asked a kindergartner to draw a cactus that could hug you, painfully. It's rocking this round body covered in stripes like it's wearing nature's version of a prison uniform. It's got these fancy dark green rhombus shapes, one perched above its face like a tiny crown, and 6 more around its waist like the world's spikiest belt. The face has dark circles around its eyes that make it look like it's been pulling all-nighters, and a mouth made up of circles that gives it this perpetually surprised expression, like it's just realized it's covered in spikes. It has 2 dark green spikes on each side of its head and a yellow flower bud on top. Its arms are not just for hugging, but they are like tiny spiky clubs that it uses as hammers, making it the world's most dangerous whack-a-mole champion. It has stubby dark green conical legs, making it look like it's wearing the world's most uncomfortable boots. This little desert survivor is a walking water bottle, able to go a whole month without a drink. Despite being able to survive 30 days without water in the desert, Cacnea never learned to swim. It's like having a friend who's super tough, but refuses to get in the pool because they're worried about messing up their hair. The pretty yellow flower is like nature's most deceptive perfume counter. The harsher the environment, the prettier and more fragrant it becomes, luring in unsuspecting prey before turning them into living pincushions. This spiky sweetheart took the concept of love hurts to a whole new level. Every single time James called it out for battle, Cacnea would be like, "Battle? Nah, it's hugging time," and launch itself at him like a spiky missile of affection. Imagine trying to command your Pokemon in battle, but it's too busy turning you into a human pincushion because it just loves you that much. But don't let all this cuddly behavior fool you though. When it is focused on battling, it could be pretty tough. It was so loyal to James that it would even attack other Team Rocket Pokemon if he asked. At home, Growly. This Growlithe, nicknamed Growly, is a fire-type Pokemon owned by James. It is the loyal canine companion that proves even Team Rocket members have a heart beneath all that villainy. This fiery furball is basically what would happen if unconditional love grew 4 legs and learned to breathe fire. It is like an adorable orange pup with black tiger-like stripes, a fluffy beige mane, and a kind of loyalty. Growly is the walking, barking embodiment of man's best friend. It will fiercely bark at, bite, and chase away any perceived threat. Otherwise, this obedient Pokemon will wait motionlessly until given an order. It has a long history with people, as its bones have been found in Stone Age ruins. In the wild, Growlithe can be commonly found in grassy plains. It also has a powerful olfactory sense. If it detects an unknown smell in its territory, it roars to flush out the intruder. It can smell the emotions of others, and never forgets a scent. However, strong, unpleasant smells can disable Growly's sense of smell for short periods. Growly is known to bark at anyone who approaches it while sleeping. Unlike James's other Pokemon, who use him as a human pincushion or a walking snack dispenser, Growly and James share a pure childhood bond. Growly was James's ride or die from the beginning. When James was forced to leave his luxurious estate to escape his terrifying fiancée Jezebel, who by the way looks suspiciously like Jessie, he had to make the heartbreaking decision to leave Growly behind. It's like the Pokemon version of Old Yeller, except nobody dies and everyone just gets really sad. When James returned years later, Growly recognized him instantly. That's right, this puppy has a better memory than most humans with facial recognition software. Growly literally tackled James to the ground in excitement. Chimecho. Chimecho is a floating wind chime with an attitude problem and a vocal range that would make Mariah Carey jealous. This little psychic-type Pokemon is round, bluish-white, and shaped like a Furin wind chime that someone decided needed eyes and a weird suction cup had. It sports an amaranth-colored pattern across its body. Its beady yellow eyes are constantly judging your life choices, and it also has 3 stubby limbs that aren't winning any boxing matches anytime soon. It has a long, tag-like tail with amaranth patterning at the bottom. Chimecho can create ultrasonic sound waves and other noises. It uses 7 different echoing cries to communicate with others. It is nocturnal and usually lives in grasslands and woods, but some are found in mountainous regions. An omnivorous species, it eats berries that it plucks with its tail and can knock out large prey using powerful waves of air, which are thought to be created by Chimecho, amplifying the faint sound of wind inside its body. James caught it during a festival in Hoenn that he attended as a boy. The Pokemon clearly saw something in James that others missed, his kind side. While Jessie was busy plotting world domination, Chimecho would affectionately wrap itself around James like a sentient, clingy scarf. James treated this floating bell like it was his own child, refusing to use it in battle like some kind of Pokemon pacifist. Sadly, Chimecho eventually fell ill, and James had to leave it with his grandparents. Nothing says true love like knowing when to say goodbye to your sentient doorbell. James got a Mime Jr. as a replacement because apparently what this man needs is Pokemon that specialize in making noise and being weird. Released. Arbok. Arbok is basically a giant cobra with anger management issues. It is a serpentine Pokemon that resembles a cobra. It has narrow eyes that seem to be perpetually judging you and several sharp teeth that would make a dentist both impressed and terrified. Just below its head is a large hood with a face-like pattern. This pattern has over 20 possible variations. The pattern typically features 2 red and yellow eye spots outlined in black, a wide black streak resembling an upturned mouth, and a black V-shaped stripe above the eye spots. This slithery menace is capable of crushing opponents by coiling its body around them and squeezing them tightly. It can even flatten steel oil drums. If it encounters an enemy, it raises its head, mimics, and stuns the opponent using the frightening pattern on its body. It's essentially saying, "Look at my terrifying face," before it attacks. It can also make eerie sounds by expelling air from its mouth, like a balloon slowly deflating, but somehow way more threatening. If any part of Arbok's body, except for the head, is cut off, it can regrow the rest of its body again in a few weeks. Talk about commitment issues. Oh, you cut off my tail? No worries, I'll just grow a new one. It also can detect vibrations. Arbok can spend long periods underwater and survive in aquatic environments. It's a snake that doesn't respect the boundaries between land and water. Arbok is territorial, and it often lashes out at intruders with long fangs tipped with deadly venom. It will not give up a chase once it targets its prey or an opponent, no matter how far. It's like that ex who just won't stop texting you 3 years later. This snake makes its home in grassy savannas and plains, but it can also be found in forests and desolate wastelands alongside its pre-evolved form, Ekans. In the wild, it hunts smaller Pokemon such as Wooper and also preys on Pidgey and Spearow eggs. When hunting, it uses the pattern on its hood to immobilize prey, then constricts them, and finally poisons the target to finish them off and eat them. Arbok is known to display its belly while sleeping. It is theorized that Arbok does this to scare other Pokemon away by showcasing its fearsome markings. Even when it's catching Z's, this snake is still trying to terrify everything around it. Jessie is very close with Arbok, as she has known it since it was an Ekans, and their bond runs deeper than their shared love of causing trouble and stealing Pokemon. Jessie would do anything to protect Arbok, and it would do the same for her. However, in a rare moment of selflessness, she released Arbok to be with its kind. That's right, the woman who spends her life trying to steal other people's Pokemon sets her own free. Dustox. Dustox is a toxic moth with a fashion sense that screams, "I rolled through a punk rock concert and kept all the accessories." This bug poison type is a moth-like Pokemon sporting not just 1, but 2 pairs of wings because apparently regular moths weren't fancy enough. It has a purple, egg-shaped body with a jagged fringe on its rear that looks like someone took scissors to its backside and just went to town. Its tattered green wings are wide and flat, forming a disc shape around its body, and they are decorated with red markings in the form of rings and streaks, a darker green line around the edges, and contain toxic dust. Dustox struts around on 2 pairs of red, stubby legs that couldn't win a race against a Slowpoke, and sports yellow, stylized compound eyes that look like they belong on a 1970s alien costume. there's a pair of fuzzy, yellow antennae on top of its head, which are smaller on the female, and they're used to seek food because even toxic moths have to eat. It is instinctively drawn to light, like swarms are attracted by the bright lights of cities, where they wreak havoc by devouring the leaves of roadside trees. When attacked, Dustox unleashes toxic scales from its wings. These toxins are powerful enough to make even a pro wrestler sick. Imagine The Rock calling in sick because a moth dusted him. As a result, people often have a difficult time driving Dustox swarms away from settlements. It's like trying to evict tenants who not only refuse to leave, but also poison your food while they're at it. Jessie initially caught Dustox as a Wurmple around the same time May caught hers. While May's Wurmple managed to evolve into a beautiful Beautifly, Jessie was disappointed to see hers evolve into a Dustox. I mean, who wouldn't be upset when your cute little caterpillar turns into a toxic flying disc instead of a beautiful butterfly? Despite the initial letdown, Jessie's love for the Pokemon did not change. The two remained steadfast partners for much of Hoenn and Sinnoh, proving that even in Team Rocket, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Mimikyu. Mimikyu is a ghost in a dollar store Pikachu costume with abandonment issues and a murderous vendetta against anyone who tries to peek under its ratty disguise. This ghost fairy type is one of the shortest ghost types around. Its body is almost entirely hidden under what looks like an old rag that a kindergartner decorated to look like Pikachu during arts and crafts hour. Through the holes in this budget cosplay, you can spot its beady black eyes. Occasionally, you might see the fringe of an amorphous foot or lower body peeking out from under the hem, or worse, a long, black claw-like appendage extending from under the rag. When Mimikyu gets angry, its eyes glow yellow like tiny headlights of doom. The veil itself is a crayon drawing quality Pikachu with yellow fabric, black-tipped ears, black eyes, red cheeks, and a squiggly black mouth that looks like it was drawn by someone having a seizure. It even carries a small stick resembling a lightning bolt to create a tail for its costume. The rag's head is hollow and can be used to store objects. When its disguise gets damaged, the costume's head droops limply backward like a deflated balloon, revealing that this is not a Pikachu. Larger rips in the costume release shadowy vapors pouring out from whatever horror show is hidden within. This poor, lonely Pokemon is always covered by its disguise because apparently its true form is the perfect example of a jump scare times 1,000. Nobody knows what Mimikyu looks like under there, though we do get tantalizing glimpses of its claw, underside, and eyes. Since sunlight weakens this Pokemon, the veil offers protection. It's believed that seeing Mimikyu's true form will cause either a mysterious illness or even a painful death. It's like the Pokemon version of the ring tape. Because of this, Mimikyu gets violently agitated if anyone tries to sneak a peek under its rag. Mimikyu chose to model its disguise after Pikachu because of the electric mouse's overwhelming popularity. It genuinely thought dressing up like Pikachu would help it make friends with people, which is both adorable and deeply sad. Unfortunately, its attempt at cosplaying the world's most beloved Pokemon ended up looking more creepy than cute. It's like showing up to a Halloween party in a homemade costume when everyone else hired professional makeup artists. Mimikyu takes its Pikachu impersonation so seriously that it even sleeps in the same position. Its relationship with the real Pikachu varies between individuals and canons. Some Mimikyu hate Pikachu with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, while others are actually friendly toward the electric icon. A special Mimikyu in Alola acts as a totem Pokemon for Acerola's trial in an abandoned thrifty Megamart. This particular Mimikyu possesses Z-Power, which is energy from Ultra Wormholes that gives it a golden, flaring aura. Defeating this bargain bin boogeyman earns you a Ghost Gem Z. Mimikyu is the only known Pokemon capable of using the Z move. It's also the only Pokemon with the Disguise ability. Mimikyu has two forms, Disguised form and Busted form. It changes to Busted form when an attack hits it and breaks its neck. This causes it to slump over like a sad puppet, no longer convincingly resembling a Pikachu. Ordinarily, the rag allows Mimikyu to avoid attacks, like a ghostly airbag. If its disguise gets damaged, Mimikyu will spend all night patching it in front of a mirror. Repairing the rag correctly is often difficult, so Mimikyu cries a lot on the inside, and then the ghost will seek vengeance on whoever damaged its disguise, fearing its true identity might have been exposed. Unforgiving to the core, it will take down the culprit even at the risk of its own life. Mimikyu will never forget who damaged its rag for as long as it lives. Mimikyu met Team Rocket shortly after they arrived in the Alola region, and Jessie immediately set her sights on catching it. Although her first attempt failed miserably, Mimikyu decided to join forces with Team Rocket specifically to defeat Pikachu, whom it despised. Jessie eventually caught Mimikyu in a luxury ball she stole from James. It has grown closer to Jessie since she went to great lengths to mend its torn disguise. Weezing. This poison type is a purple Pokemon consisting of two spherical heads connected by a thin tube with another sphere in the center like a molecular model gone wrong. The heads are different sizes because even in the Pokemon world, twins can have sibling rivalry. The larger left head comes equipped with prominent eyebrows that are perpetually furrowed in what can only be described as a gas pain expression, pointed teeth protruding from its lower jaw, and two flat teeth in its upper jaw. Meanwhile, the smaller right head has a minimalist look with just two pointed teeth, one at each corner of its mouth. The larger head has a cream-colored skull and crossbones marking below its face, while the smaller head has a ring marking instead, like a tiny toxic bullseye. Weezing is covered with many geyser-like protrusions that usually expel mustard-colored gases, making it look like a floating purple Swiss cheese with a flatulence problem. This gassy monstrosity is said to form when poisonous gases pool and two Koffing fuse over many years. Very rarely, two Koffings can become a Weezing in a short period because of a sudden mutation. There are even triplet Weezing that have been discovered, although they're extremely rare. Each of Weezing's heads contain a different toxin, making it a walking chemical factory. It mixes its gases by inflating one head and deflating the other like some sort of bizarre bagpipe. When these gases mix, Weezing becomes more toxic and putrid. Weezing can hover in midair, presumably due to gases lighter than air, which explains why this purple Pokemon doesn't just plummet to the ground like a rock. Despite their stench and poison, Weezing's gases can be used to make top-grade perfume by diluting them to the highest level. So, the next time you spray on that expensive designer fragrance, remember it might have started life as a Weezing gas. Weezing lives in urban areas and seeks out dirty, unkempt houses to nest in. At night, when the people in the house are asleep, it goes through the trash like a toxic raccoon. It feeds on dust, microorganisms, and especially gases emitted by garbage and toxic waste. Weezing's body expands and smells worse upon inhaling poisonous gases, so the more pollution it encounters, the bigger and stinkier it gets. It's like that friend who just keeps getting louder after each drink. In Galar, Weezing has a regional form and its purple body turns to a gray one and a yellow skull, crossbones, and ring patterns instead of cream-colored ones. Both heads have a hat-like tube on top that constantly releases purified air. 5 puffs of green poison gas clouds float around it, partially covering its faces. The larger head has a mustache-like cloud on its upper lip, while the smaller head has clouds on its face in the shape of eyebrows and a beard. Unlike its Cantonian cousin, Galarian Weezing consumes particles from polluted air and expels clean air instead of droppings. The toxins within its body accumulate into poison gas clouds that leak and drift around it. This gas is its best weapon in battle, potent enough to stun and immobilize an opponent with just a whiff. Galarian Weezing also preys on Trubbish for the fumes it produces. Weezing was extremely loyal to James, caring about him a great deal and only taking orders from him. In Island of the Giant Pokemon, when it was still a Koffing, it refused to attack Ash's Pokemon on Meowth's orders simply because he wasn't James. When separated from their trainers, Koffing and Ekans were very sad and cried happily upon reuniting with them. Despite its loyalty to James, there were even rare occasions where Weezing and Arbok refused to obey their trainers, such as when they refused to attack a Chansey because it had treated their injuries. Jessie and James originally had an Arbok and a Weezing as their signature Pokemon, respectively, forming the core of Team Rocket's Pokemon squad. Gyarados. Gyarados is an angry sea serpent with anger management issues so severe that entire towns move when it shows up on Zillow. This water flying type is a piscine, draconic Pokemon with a long serpentine body covered in slightly overlapping scales. It's mostly blue with a yellow underbelly and a row of yellow spots down each side that look like someone tried to polka dot a sea monster. Its mouth is very large and gaping, bearing 4 pointed teeth and yellow lips because dental hygiene isn't a priority when your main personality trait is rage. Gyarados has 1 pair of barbels and a small white fin on each side of its face. The barbels are white on a female and blue on a male because even sea monsters need gender distinctions. It has small, red eyes that perpetually look like they're seeing red, a 3-pointed, dark blue crest on its head like a natural crown for the king of tantrums, and 4 white, spiky dorsal fins. Its tail fin matches the head crest in structure, except with a thin, white fin spread between the point. The evolution process from a derpy Magikarp to Gyarados causes a change in its brain structure that is believed to cause its violent nature. It is like puberty gone horribly wrong. Gyarados' fangs can crush stones and its scales are harder than steel, making it essentially a swimming tank with an attitude problem. This water dragon has been feared for its fierce temper and wanton destructive tendencies since ancient times. In some regions, Gyarados is called the deity of destruction, which is a much cooler nickname than anything I've ever had. It appears in times of conflict and destroys the surrounding area like nature's version of "I heard there was a drama, so I showed up to make it worse." Its rampages have been known to last a month at a time. These destructive sprees can occur even during harsh storms, as a Gyarados' rage won't stop completely until everything is destroyed. Some people believed any human settlement is fated to be destroyed should a Gyarados appear. Gyarados live in both fresh and salty waters because limiting its habitat would mean fewer opportunities for destruction. Both regular Gyarados and its Mega form have demonstrated they can leap huge distances from water or ground, usually several times their body length. Despite its reputation for chaos, Gyarados is rarely seen in the wild, probably because everyone evacuates when they hear one is coming. The Hyper Beam move is often associated with Gyarados due to it being powerful enough to instantly destroy everything it hits. When it Mega evolves, Gyarados becomes even bulkier. The fins on its cheeks become longer and gain a yellow tint, its crest gets larger and turns black, and its barbels gain considerable length like it's growing a handlebar mustache of doom. A large spike extends downward underneath its chin, and it gets a black underside with a red stripe around the edges. The yellow spots along its body are replaced by raised red scales that propel Mega Gyarados through the water like some kind of organic jet engine. Two large yellow fins with blue spines appear on its back, while most of the other fins along its back disappear, replaced by 2 rows of blue spikes. There are now 4 yellowish, spiky fins near its tail, 2 on its back and 2 on its underside. Due to the stress Mega Evolution puts on a Gyarados' body, it becomes even more ferocious and rough-tempered than before. All other brain functions cease when Mega Evolution occurs, except for the destructive drive to burn everything to cinders. It's like its brain goes into factory reset mode, but the only application that reinstalls is Destroy. Mega Gyarados can launch at Mach speed by using its orifices to release water from both sides. With this speed, it has enough power to split large ships in two. James purchased Gyarados as a Magikarp on the St. Anne in battle aboard the St. Anne. While on the ocean liner, the Magikarp salesman tricked him into buying Magikarp, claiming that he could breed it to sell more and more Magikarp. James gladly accepted the deal. When he later told about his purchase to Jessie and Meowth, they revealed that he had been tricked as Magikarp was a completely useless Pokemon, and even its gold Pokeball was just gold-plated. When James revealed that he had spent the advances on both his and Jessie's salaries to buy Magikarp, Jessie got furious, angrily telling him to return it immediately. However, before he could find the salesman again, Team Rocket's assault on the ship started, and James was forced to abandon his search to join the other Team Rocket grunts. After the operation had been ruined by the passengers' rebellion, the rocking of the ship caused James to drop Magikarp's Pokeball, and the trio kept chasing it throughout the ship, causing them to get trapped inside and knocked unconscious when the ship sunk soon after. Marini. Marini is a walking, toxic relationship with tentacles and commitment issues. This purple stocky critter is what you'd get if a starfish and a poison dart had a baby that decided to become a professional hugger. This poison water-type Pokemon struts around with its light blue tentacles reaching the ground like it's wearing a spiky ball gown that's just a tad too long. It has 3 pointed teeth and yellow pupil eyes. It has a spike on its head that is its poison injector. Marini can regenerate any body part overnight except its head. Lost a tentacle? No problem. It'll grow back by morning. Though apparently, these lost limbs taste so bitter, they're considered inedible. When it comes to its relationship with James, Marini is that clingy ex who refuses to take "it's not you, it's me" for an answer. As the first water-type Pokemon that James officially keeps on his team, Marini breaks tradition from his usual grass-type collection. This little poison princess shows affection to James with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. James has a track record of attracting Pokemon that show him affection. Traded. Lickitung. Lickitung is a walking tongue with commitment issues that somehow grew a body. It's like that one friend who always wants to taste everything at the buffet. This pink blob of a Pokemon stands on 2 legs with its round body and powerful tail, looking like a rejected strawberry ice cream mascot. At over 6 feet 6 inches long, its tongue is twice the length of its body. That's like having arms that drag on the ground while you're standing on the roof. Its beady eyes give it that permanent "I just licked something I shouldn't have" expression. The sticky, smelly saliva coating its tongue causes a tingling sensation when touched and can leave rashes if not cleaned off. So basically, getting licked by Lickitung is like getting a combination of static shock, bad cologne, and poison ivy all at once. Lickitung remembers things by texture and taste, which explains why it has the personality of a toddler putting everything in its mouth, though apparently it draws the line at sour things. In the wild, Lickitung prefers swallowing prey whole after paralyzing them with its tongue. As for its relationship with Jessie, both are dramatic, both have a flair for the excessive, and both probably spend way too much time on their appearance only to end up looking ridiculous anyway. Jessie's hair defies gravity, while Lickitung's tongue defies common sense. When Jessie commands Lickitung to attack, it's essentially her saying, "Go taste the enemy into submission," which is exactly the kind of bizarre battle strategy Team Rocket would come up with. Victory Bell. Victory Bell is a walking death trap disguised as a reject from a botanical garden's clearance sale. It's the Pokemon example of that friend who always says, "I'm not hungry," and then eats half your fries. Except in this case, it's eating entire birds and rodents. This grass poison-type Pokemon has a bell-shaped body with a gaping mouth, pink lips, and 2 sharp teeth that would make a dentist question their career choices. Its semicircular eyes sit right under its mouth, giving it that permanent "I just saw my prey fall for my trap" expression, complete with dark green spots that look like a bizarre case of plant acne. While hunting, Victory Bell flicks its long, brown, yellow-tipped vine to mimic an animal and produces a sweet scent to lure in unsuspecting victims. The more creatures it dissolves in its acid, the sweeter the scent becomes. That's right, it's using the essence of its previous victims to attract new ones. In the wild, Victory Bell can be found hoarding food and leaf stones to help other Weepinbells evolve in nighttime rituals. It's like running a pyramid scheme for plant Pokemon. And since it evolves through a leaf stone, wild Victory Bell are about as common as James making good life choices. James got himself a Victory Bell that shows affection by attempting to swallow his head whole. James has known Victory Bell since it was a Weepinbell, and despite being traded away and then getting another one that also evolved, the head swallowing tradition continued uninterrupted. It's like James's head has a perfect fit sign that only Victory Bell can read. Beware. Beware is a walking natural disaster that somehow thinks it's being friendly. This normal fighting type Pokemon is like that one gym enthusiast who doesn't know their own strength and keeps breaking equipment while saying, "Oops, my bad." It looks like a bipedal bear that raided a black and pink paint store. Its black legs and front body contrast with its pink head, back, and tail. The white band across its head with 2 tufts gives it the appearance of wearing a headband with decorative bear ears. While Beware may appear as cuddly as a teddy bear, it's considered the most dangerous Pokemon in Alola. Its friendly arm swinging is a warning, like a tornado siren. Its hugs have killed trainers by shattering their bones. Beware learned its martial arts moves by stalking black belts in the woods. It's like if you learned brain surgery by peeping through hospital windows. During food shortages in Lental, it hibernates and occasionally hugs logs, mistaking them for friends, only to accidentally pulverize them into toothpicks. Beware is highly intelligent with remarkable abilities, like running on ocean surfaces, building wooden motorcycles, and jumping to impossible heights. It moves with surprising speed despite its size. Jessie wanted nothing to do with this pink and black death machine, but eventually came to care for it. The irony of Jessie, who normally tries to steal Pokemon, actually caring for one shows character growth or possibly Stockholm Syndrome. Jessie, James, and Meowth even abandoned their villainous plans to help Beware and its pre-evolved form Stuffle when they were in trouble. Stuffle. Stuffle is a walking teddy bear with anger management issues and the strength of a bulldozer. This small quadrupedal Pokemon resembles a bear cub with a color scheme that looks like it lost a fight with a cotton candy machine. It has a pink body and head with brown legs that give it that "I'm wearing boots" look. Each foot has a single pink paw pad. Its white semicircle headband-like marking and white muzzle with a triangular black nose give it that stuffed animal from a boutique toy store appearance that lures unsuspecting humans into its trap. Don't forget those white-tipped ears on the side of its head, and those cute little white-tipped tufts of fur under each, and that short, puffy tail with a dark pink ring marking. It has a small white flap under its tail that resembles a tag on a stuffed toy, but it's an organ that releases an odor to communicate with other Stuffle. Stuffle has extraordinary strength that can knock out even well-trained Pokemon if they're unprepared. Its combination of cuteness, adorable mannerisms, and fluffy fur make it wildly popular. It hates being touched and will flail its powerful arms if embraced, with enough force to break thick tree trunks. Stuffle doesn't even chill out when sleeping, as it's still filled with power, flailing about and moving constantly. It's like it took too many pre-workout supplements and can't turn off. It can even break through walls of steel. Jessie, who usually spends her time stealing Pokemon and reciting dramatic mottos, actually developed genuine care for both Stuffle and its evolved form Beware. She and her teammates James and Meowth even abandoned their villainous plans to help these powerful plushies when they were in trouble. Worked with. Delibird. Delibird is a walking Christmas surprise that might either give you a gift or slap you in the face with it. This dual ice flying type Pokemon looks like what would happen if Santa Claus and a penguin had a baby during an identity crisis. It's red, avian body with white feathery face and chest give it that festive but confused appearance. The two three-pointed crests above its eyes look like someone gave it permanent surprised eyebrows, while the black markings around its circular eyes make it look perpetually shocked. It has a light yellow beak and feet, a single white spot on its stomach, and 2-digit feet. Delibird has a white, hollow tail that doubles as a delivery bag. It's a living UPS service, carrying food bundled up in its tail sack. While it normally uses this storage system to feed its chicks, it's also been known to share food with humans stranded on icy mountains. Delibird continues its obsession with its tail even while sleeping, occasionally reaching inside to pull something out. It's like it has anxiety dreams about forgetting to deliver packages. In Delibird flocks, the one with the largest tail is the leader, proving that in bird society, it's not the size of your wings, but the capacity of your storage compartment that matters. Delibirds tend to make their nests over sharp cliffs in mountainous regions, especially around Mount Everest. Delibird has a futuristic relative or parallel timeline counterpart called Iron Bundle, which is believed to be a Delibird-based machine built by an ancient civilization. Delibird wasn't Jessie's Pokemon, but rather a Team Rocket Scouts Pokemon that was assigned to follow Jessie and James around to collect membership fees after they were kicked out for not paying their dues. Even after they lost to Ash, they were allowed back into Team Rocket, but with Delibird as their feathery debt collector. Pelipper. Pelipper is a flying postal service with trust issues and a permanent case of the mumps. It's like a delivery person who rings your doorbell and is halfway down the street before you can open the door. This dual water flying type Pokemon looks like nature couldn't decide between making a bird or a briefcase, so it compromised. Its head and bill make up most of its body, giving it that all-mouth, no-trousers appearance. With white feathers and a short blue crest on top of its head that looks like a bad haircut, Pelipper is serving some questionable fashion choices. Those 3 blue digits on each wing and blue webbed feet are like the avian version of wearing gloves and socks that don't match your outfit. Its eyes are 2 black semicircles with a horizontal white line between them, giving it a permanent "I'm judging you" expression. It has a yellow contraption that extends along its underside like it swallowed a banana sideways. Inside that oversized bill is a throat pouch that puts Mary Poppins back to shame. It can carry eggs, small Pokemon like its own young, and Pyukumuku, and is even large enough to fit a small child. This Pokemon could theoretically kidnap your toddler. No wonder it's compared to a courier or messenger. Pelipper's eating habits are equally impressive. It skims across waves, scoops up food, and swallows it in one gulp. It can down up to 30 wishy-washy in one go, which is like eating an entire buffet without pausing for breath. It even has a taste for abandoned love discs that are too sad to be wary near the surface. Pelipper is so much Jessie's delivery service. Whenever Jessie calls, Pelipper appears to drop off the Rocket Prize Master, a machine that dispenses Pokemon for them to use in their never-ending quest to capture Pikachu. Pelipper battled for Team Rocket against Chloe's Eevee and Yamper when their Prize Master malfunctioned. Despite its best efforts, it got defeated by a joint spark attack and blasted off. Pelipper fled in terror with the Prize Master still in tow after 2 Pokemaniacs became obsessed with its blue coloring. Left without Pokemon to fight, Team Rocket got blasted off by Pikachu. Porygon. Porygon is a walking Windows 95 error message with limbs. It's like an example of that ancient computer your parents refused to throw away because it still works fine despite taking 20 minutes to boot up. This normal type Pokemon looks like someone's first attempt at 3D modeling after a crash course in geometry. Its pink polyhedral head ending in a blue beak gives it that "I was designed on a calculator" vibe, while its hexagonal eyes seem to permanently display the blue screen of death. With a pink polyhedral body, blue front, blue triangular prism feet, and blue rectangular prism tail, it's basically what would happen if Minecraft had a baby with Flamingo. Porygon can open its beak and detach its limbs and head from its torso. It's like a digital Mr. Potato Head having an existential crisis. It has copy protection built into its code to prevent duplication through electronic means. Created in 1995 by Sylph Co., though documents at Sylph Co. claim it was created at the Pokémon Lab on Cinnabar Island, Porygon was cutting-edge technology 3 decades ago. Now many of its parts are obsolete, making it the Pokémon equivalent of a floppy disk in a world of cloud storage. It was the first artificial Pokémon ever created through computer programming, which is basically like being proud of inventing the first digital pet rock. In ancient history, people were utterly confused by Porygon and its evolutions due to them arriving through space-time distortions. Imagine trying to explain a digital creature to someone who thinks electricity is witchcraft. Yes, it's made of numbers. No, you can't eat it. Due to its man-made origins, Porygon doesn't need to breathe or eat. Though it can accept food if given, probably just to be polite at dinner parties. It can convert its body into digital data to travel through cyberspace, where it's become helpful in searching for suspicious data. Some believe Porygon might eventually travel in space, which seems like a stretch for a Pokemon that looks like it would struggle with a dial-up connection. Porygon and its evolved forms are the only Pokemon capable of learning Conversion and Conversion 2. It can use Conversion to change its appearance to mimic another Pokemon. Though with its blocky geometry, it's probably about as convincing as a kid wearing a bedsheet claiming to be a ghost. Jessie doesn't have a Porygon. In the anime, Porygon only appears in the infamous banned episode Electric Soldier Porygon, which caused seizures in Japanese viewers due to flashing lights. This episode was so controversial that Porygon was essentially blacklisted from the anime despite not being responsible for the seizure-inducing animation. So while Jessie never had a Porygon, if she did, it would perfectly represent Team Rocket's outdated technology and methods. Shellder. Shellder is a bivalve mollusk Pokemon wrapped up in a spiky blue-violet shell that's supposedly harder than diamonds. People throughout history have used these shells to make shields, which is Shellder's way of saying, I'm useful, even when I'm empty inside. It has 2 round white eyes with tiny black pupils that always look shocked like it just remembered it left its shell door open. It has an enormously long red tongue that protrudes from its often closed mouth. This tongue is usually hard to see because Shellder's body is so dark, but it uses this appendage to burrow into sand for overnight naps and to lure unsuspecting prey. If you tug on that tongue, the shell pops open faster than a clam at a seafood restaurant. Inside that fortress-like shell is a soft, tender body that needs all that protection. Shellder can make pearls from accumulated sand, but in a classic display of shellfish behavior, it throws them away because they're in the way. Talk about being picky about your interior decorating. Shellder has a bizarre culinary obsession with slowpoke tails. When attached to a slowpoke's tail, they undergo a metamorphosis and evolve into Slowbro together. Alternatively, if it attaches to the head of a slowpoke holding a king's rock, they'll evolve into Slowking instead. These relationships are Shellder's ticket to land travel. In the Galar region, Shellder attaches to Galarian Slowpoke wearing Galarica cuffs or wreaths to create Galarian versions of these evolutions. After evolution, Shellder's shell transforms into a spiny, spiraled cone with several tiers. Sharp teeth develop around the rim to anchor it to the evolved Slowpoke, with its eyes peeking out from the bottom like a shy roommate. In crown form, it sports a red jewel on its underside and a large horn on either of its shell. While crowning Slowking, Shellder periodically releases venom into Slowking's brain, which somehow makes Slowking smarter. Higher doses of venom intensify this effect, and Shellder can be easily provoked into releasing more whenever Slowking yawns. It's like the world's most toxic study drug. For Slowbro, however, Shellder's poison has the opposite effect, making it more sluggish as it drains nutrients. The crown form of Shellder can even control humans who wear it and speak through its host. The mind control wears off the moment the crown is removed. Talk about a hat with attitude. Shelders were hunted by Amistar, whose powerful bites could break through their shells. Today, Kingler, Rufflet, and Bruxish are its modern predators. Shellder and its evolved form, Cloyster, are related to Shellos and Gastrodon. While James initially discovered a shelter and battled it, it was Jessie who captured this shellfish sensation. Both Jessie and Shelter have tough exteriors protecting their vulnerable insides, both can be surprisingly quick when motivated, and both know how to clamp down hard on what they want. When Giovanni ordered Team Rocket to get a rare Pokemon from Professor Westwood V, the team visited his lab and tried to evolve his Slowpoke. Magikarp. Magikarp is a fish with an identity crisis, and it's Jessie's most unfortunate Pokemon acquisition. It is a piscine Pokemon, decked out in heavy reddish-orange scales that look like they're weighing it down more than protecting it. It has those large, vacant eyes that seem to say, "I have no idea what's going on," and pink lips that appear to be in a permanent pout. Its pectoral and tail fins are white, probably to wave and surrender during battles. It has a stiff, three-peaked yellow fin on its back resembling a crown. There's an identical fin on its underside, because why have one useless ornament when you can have two? It also has long barbels that are white on females and pale yellow on males. Despite being the laughingstock of the Pokemon world, a long-lived Magikarp can utilize its immense splashing power to leap high enough to high mountains. The fish that can't swim well can somehow jump over mountains. It's like being terrible at walking but winning Olympic high jumps. It also has an immune system strong enough to survive in the most polluted waters. Even in the heat of battle, it will do nothing but flop around like a fish out of water. Scientists believe Magikarp's ancestors were much stronger than modern ones. It's like how your grandparents tell you how they walked uphill both ways to school. These underwhelming aquatic creatures can be found in many bodies of water, such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. However, due to its weak swimming ability, it usually lives downstream of the water's flow. Frillish also preys on Magikarp, probably because they're the easiest fast food in the Pokemon world. In Hoppy Town, there are at least 31 unique pattern varieties of Magikarp, with scales coming in colors such as gray, black, white, purple, pink, violet, apricot, and brown. These patterns can be classified by groups, depending on how the Magikarp looks while small, with specific patterns emerging as they grow. Which patterns can be caught depends on the type of old rod used. The better the rod, the more varieties you can fish. The people in Hoppy Town train their Magikarp to jump the highest to compete in leagues for prizes. As for Jessie, she crossed paths with the infamous Magikarp salesman. This con artist convinced Jessie to trade the pearl for what he claimed was a Phoebus. Jessie, who normally has a sharp eye for deception, was initially reluctant. But once the salesman explained that Phoebus had evolved into the beautiful Milotic, Jessie eagerly made the trade, ignoring James and Meowth's protests. It's like buying a lottery ticket because someone told you it was a winning one. Later, Team Rocket was at a lake, letting Jessie's Phoebus swim around, probably imagining the gorgeous Milotic it would become. But as the water washed away the paint, it revealed the cruel truth that her Phoebus was a Magikarp. Team Rocket sought out the salesman to demand a refund, only to find Ash and friends already confronting him. A battle ensued between Cacnea and Dustox against Pikachu and Spoink, during which the crafty salesman escaped, and poor Magikarp was completely lost track of. Team Rocket was defeated, Spoink got its pearl back, and Magikarp was never seen again. Second Victory Bell. James was forced into making a truly painful trade, giving up his old Victreebel for a Weepinbell after Jessie and Meowth fell for yet another scheme from the infamous Magikarp salesman. This con artist convinced them that they could use Weepinbell's sweet scent to capture Pokemon because Team Rocket would believe anything if it might help them catch Pikachu. Later, this Weepinbell evolved into Victreebel, though strangely without the required Leaf Stone. And just like James's previous Victreebel, this one also had a taste for human heads, except this time it went for Jessie instead of James. Jessie, not appreciating being treated like plant food, immediately commanded her Arbok to blast the Floral Predator into the stratosphere. Meanwhile, the Magikarp salesman was having trouble with James's original Victreebel, which refused to obey him. Turns out loyalty can't be bought or conned. Frustrated, the salesman kicked poor Victreebel away like yesterday's leftovers. The two Victreebels who had both been rejected by their trainers eventually met, fell instantly in love, and skipped off together into the forest to live happily ever after. Hoppip. Hoppip is a pink cotton ball with an identity crisis, and it's James's most short-lived Pokemon companion. Hoppip is a round, pink plant Pokemon with long green leaves on top of its head, with ragged edges resembling a dandelion. It has big, triangular ears with dark insides that probably catch the wind like tiny sails, and beady yellow eyes that lack pupils. Its arms and legs are stubby little appendages, perfect for doing absolutely nothing useful during a strong gust, and it has a short tail with a rounded tip that serves no apparent purpose. Each foot has a circular yellow pad on the underside. Hoppip's body is incredibly light. We're talking featherweight champion of the Pokemon world here. It gets lifted off the ground by the slightest breeze and will drift aimlessly through the air like a living balloon without a string. Hoppip can sense approaching strong winds, which you'd think would be useful, except its solution is rather pathetic. It either clusters with other Hoppip or grips the ground desperately with its tiny feet. Despite the dangers of becoming an unintentional traveler, Hoppip enjoys gentle breezes like someone who loves roller coasters but screams the entire time. Due to its tendency to be carried by winds across vast distances, Hoppip can be found pretty much everywhere except cold regions. It makes its home in temperate grasslands, fields, mountains, and even urban environments. When it comes to evolution, Hoppip eventually becomes Skiploom, which later evolves into Jumpluff, essentially going from easily blown away to even more easily blown away to practically one with the wind. James bought it from the infamous Magikarp salesman. In a masterclass of deception, the salesman had painted the Hoppip to look like a Chimecho, a Pokemon James had desired since childhood. Despite recognizing the notorious con artist, James fell for his claim of having turned over a new leaf and becoming honest. James believing a known scammer had reformed is like believing Team Rocket will stop chasing Pikachu. When James proudly showed his Chimecho to Jessie and Meowth, they were understandably unimpressed. Meowth, showing rare insight, immediately spotted the fake. The final revelation came when the disguise started falling apart, and James, in his cleaning attempt, rubbed off all the paint with a rag. Before poor James could even process this betrayal or attempt to capture the revealed Hoppip, it floated away on the breeze, never to be seen again, much like James's hopes and dreams of Chimecho ownership. Mawile. Mawile is a cute little trickster with an appetite for deception and is Jessie's most short-lived trade Pokemon. Mawile is a short, bipedal humanoid Pokemon with a pale yellow body that screams, "I'm harmless," until you see what's behind it. Its three-fingered hands and two-toed feet are back, giving it the appearance of wearing gloves and socks. It has striking red eyes that probably gleam with mischief and a pair of long, black, ear-like extensions on either side of its head that make it look extra innocent. Its legs resemble a hakama, the traditional Japanese pleated pants, giving it a formal look for all those "surprise, I'm dangerous" moments. Mawile has a pair of black, massive jaws emerging from the back of its head. Talk about having eyes in the back of your head. These jaws feature a yellow, oval-shaped spot on their top surface like a sinister beauty mark. They contain 10 sharp, metallic teeth, 6 on the top row and 4 on the bottom. While these chompers are transformed steel horns, Mawile can move them around at will, using them to bite enemies with enough force to break an iron beam. That's right, this cute little Pokemon can snap metal like a candy bar. These jaws can taste anything, so Mawile cleverly uses them to eat food it doesn't like. Mawile typically haunts caves, where it perfects its devious hunting strategy. It uses its adorable, non-threatening appearance to make foes underestimate it, and then attacks with its giant jaws, sometimes swallowing its prey whole. During battles, Mawile usually turns its back to the enemy, which seems rude until you realize it's just trying to get a better angle with those back-of-the-head jaws. It can Mega Evolve into Mega Mawile using the Mawilite. Mega Mawile doubles down on the deception with 2 sets of jaws protruding from the back of its head, both sporting spiky tufts of hair because nothing says "fear me" like a pair of steel jaws with stylish hair. It can control these jaws independently, like a puppeteer of pain. Its ear-like extensions grow longer with 2 pointed tips, its legs get longer, and its hakama turns magenta. Its arms transform into thick sleeves with magenta wrist markings, completing the makeover. Mega Mawile can use both jaws to grip prey and tear them apart while they thrash around violently. The Pokemon originally belonged to Count Pumpka, who offered to trade it for Jessie's beloved Pumpkaboo. Jessie, ever the opportunist, accepted the offer in hopes that one day she could Mega Evolve Mawile and add another powerhouse to Team Rocket's arsenal. However, after the trade, Jessie witnessed her former Pumpkaboo evolve into a Gourgeist. This prompted her to ask Count Pumpka to trade back, which he graciously agreed to. Befriend. Blissey. Blissey is a living embodiment of healthcare with an egg obsession. Blissey has a large ovoid body with a pink upper half and white lower half, looking like a walking, talking Easter egg that decided to become a nurse. It has adorable hair-like curls on either side of its head, giving it that "I just came from the Pokemon salon" look. White, wing-like tufts grow from its hips and shoulders, creating the impression of a dress. Its stubby arms and feet are pink and completely lack any digits, which makes you wonder how it manages to handle things so delicately without fingers. Blissey has a small, pink pouch on its belly that holds a single egg. When ingested, this miraculous egg brings feelings of pure joy and transforms the consumer into a pleasant, caring individual. It can cause even the grumpiest person to start acting kindly to others and can calm down the most ferocious Pokemon. It's like edible therapy. Legend has it that eating a Blissey's egg brings good fortune, which explains why these eggs fetch the highest prices at markets. Blissey uses its fluffy fur as an emotional radar to sense sadness, and when it detects someone feeling blue or under the weather, it rushes to their side to nurse them back to health. This Pokemon is described as overflowing with love. Blissey is a female-only species with no male counterpart. Girl power in the Pokemon world. It's an urban Pokemon rarely seen in the wild, probably because it's too busy working double shifts at Pokemon centers. Blissey takes its nursing duties so seriously that if the player is injured, any nearby Blissey will approach and wait nearby, only leaving after the player has fully recovered. Blissey evolves from Chansey when leveled up with High Friendship and is the final form of Happiny. Blissey and its pre-evolved forms are the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Soft Boiled by leveling up, which perfectly fits their egg-centric lifestyle. While Jessie is often portrayed as tough, ambitious, and sometimes ruthless in her Team Rocket pursuits, Blissey represents everything that's nurturing, selfless, and healing. Jessie once trained to be a Pokemon nurse, who are staples at Pokemon centers. Status unknown. Starmie. Starmie is basically what happens when a starfish decides it's too cool for just one body, and goes for the double-decker look. This dual-type water-psychic Pokemon resembles two violet starfish stacked together like a cosmic sandwich. The front starfish has a fancy golden formation in its center like it's wearing the gaudiest medallion at the underwater disco. It has a red jewel that is Starmie's mood ring that glows in 7 different colors. The second starfish on Starmie's back is a built-in motor that can spin 360 degrees. This spinning action is how Starmie zooms through the ocean like an aquatic Beyblade on a sugar rush, and when it gets bored of swimming, it just launches itself into the air and flies around for fun. Starmie's core isn't just pretty, but it can emit electrical waves powerful enough to reach the furthest parts of the universe. Is it calling home? Posting on Starfish Instagram? Ordering cosmic pizza? Nobody knows. This interstellar communication has some people convinced that Starmie is an alien visitor. I mean, what normal sea creature causes headaches just by approaching humans? When Starmie gets knocked out, its core goes dark like someone unplugged its power cord. And when it's running low on health, the core flickers like a dying flashlight. It's nature's way of saying batteries not included. These rare Pokemon are seldom seen in the wild since they need a water stone to evolve from Staryu, making them the privileged elite of the ocean depths. Jessie used a Starmie like a ninja throwing star, commanding it to use water magic, water gun while spinning in one of her flashbacks. Pidgey. Pidgey is basically what happens when a bird decides that being adorably ordinary is its superpower. This dual-type normal flying Pokemon is a small, plum-bodied avian that looks like it's been snacking on one too many Pokeberries. It's primarily brown with a cream-colored face, underside, and flight feathers, rocking the bird next door look that never goes out of style. On top of its head is a short crest of 3 tufts, like it just rolled out of the nest with perpetual bedhead. The center crest feathers are brown and the other 2 tufts are cream-colored, giving it that I tried to style my feathers but gave up halfway vibe. Just under its crest are narrow eyes with white sclera and black irises, always looking slightly suspicious, as if it's wondering if you're hiding seeds in your pocket. Those angular black markings extending from behind its eyes and down its cheeks, that's Pidgey's natural eyeliner. Who knew birds could be so ahead of makeup trends? Its short, stubby beak and 2-toed feet are a grayish pink, completing the completely average yet somehow charming aesthetic. And let's not forget that short, brown tail made of just 3 feathers. Pidgey has an extremely sharp sense of direction that would put any GPS to shame. It could be blindfolded, spun around 3 times, and flown to another continent, and it would still find its way back home without stopping for directions. Talk about never having to hear recalculating route ever again. It's a docile Pokemon that prefers to flee from battles rather than fight. Pidgey's rapid wing flapping creates dust clouds and whirlwinds that would make any cleaning service jealous. It's like having a feathery vacuum cleaner that also happens to be alive. These mini tornadoes serve the dual purpose of self-defense and flushing out tasty bugs to snack on. Multiple Pidgey were spotted in one of Team Rocket's infamous mottos. However, it remains a mystery whether these Pidgey were actual team members or just random birds that got caught up in Team Rocket's dramatic flair. Much like many of Team Rocket's plans, the fate and ownership of these Pidgey remain unclear and probably unsuccessful. Numel. Numel is basically what happens when a camel decides to become a walking hot tub with the personality of a sleepy toddler. This dual-type fire-ground Pokemon looks like someone crossed a dromedary camel with a miniature volcano and then hit the Make Adorable button. Its yellow body supports a green-topped hump that fades to yellow with cute green freckles. And inside that fashionable bump, just some casual 2200-degree Fahrenheit magma sloshing around. With its sleepy eyes surrounded by brown circles, random bags flopping over its forehead, and stubby little legs that barely keep its body off the ground, Numel looks perpetually like it just woke up from a nap and has no idea what is going on. Numel is so delightfully dim-witted that it doesn't even notice when it gets hit in battle. Oh, was that a hydro pump to the face? Sorry, I was too busy thinking about... Wait, what was I thinking about again? Despite its less than brilliant mind, Numel is surprisingly strong and has been the UPS delivery service of the Pokemon world for generations, capable of lugging around 220 pounds without complaint. However, this living furnace has two major weaknesses: getting wet, which slows it down faster than dial-up internet, and hunger, which causes its stubby legs to simply give up on life. James has a special connection to these volcanic camels. In a rare glimpse into his privileged past, James revealed that he used to have 7 Numel warming him up while he slept. Talk about luxury. Was this a fancy rich boy bed warming service, or did he own a herd of living space heaters?